Put the spotlight now on the auto space. This is a sector that has been in focus on the back of a lot of news flow. The Bajaj Auto buyback, of course, is one. Then we, of course, had the December numbers come in, the monthly numbers come in. FADA data shows that December was a good month for the retail sales. Sector witnessed 21% growth. To discuss the business momentum and the outlook, we have with us Vinkesh Gulati, Chairman Research at FADA. And we also have auto industry expert Arun Malhotra, who was also a former MD at Nissan. So, gentlemen, thank you very much for joining in, and happy 2024 to both of you. Vinkesh, let me come to you first. On the retail side, what are the trends that you're witnessing? And I remember an earlier conversation where the issue was that the inventory was, I believe, around 2 months odd. So, that was slightly maybe higher than what dealers would want. But in general, I mean, as we're looking at the start of 2024, are you expecting strong demand to continue?
So, hi, thanks for having me. Obviously, inventory had always been an issue in the dealership space, but we were lucky post-COVID, the inventories were down. But I feel the production is now at its epitome. All the companies have increased their production. The demand is also good, but the mismatch is again there. Pre-festive, we were happy to have a 2 months passenger vehicle inventory. But obviously, that was in terms of covering the festive spurt of retail. But as we close the festive and had a very, very great December, we are still seeing that there has been respite in the inventory, but it's still at a very high level. And a 2 month inventory, which we had just released the data yesterday, day before, is not the right inventory to be viable in a market. And not good for the customer also, because customers also get an older manufacturer vehicle when we sell them. So no doubt it had been an awesome calendar year, awesome last 3 months. Q3 was great. But on the side of inventory, yes, if I talk about cars, that is where the major stress is. And FADA as a body has always been saying that. And this time, for the past 2 years, 2 months or 3 months, we have been voicing that this is not the right trend, what OEMs are doing by pushing more vehicles than what is the demand in the market.
Got that, Mr. Gulati. Let's welcome Mr. Malhotra as well into this discussion. Morning, Mr. Malhotra. Thanks so much for joining in. What are the demand trends you are looking at? And if you want to bifurcate it between passenger vehicles, between commercial vehicles, where do you see more traction on ground?
Passenger vehicles have done very well last year. I mean, growth maybe at 9%. But you have to see it on top of the 20% growth which had happened the previous year. So 4.1 million is a record number, and to that extent, it's very strong. But going forward, since it's a very high base and it's a record number, the growth will not be more than 5 to 6% in the next year. But the value of the product is rising because customers are upgrading, new technologies being incorporated, aspirations are going up. So that way, it's a good year, good space to be in the passenger vehicle. Two-wheelers, which has been actually been performing below par, because the 21 million figure which was achieved in 1918-19 is still far away. We are at 18 million figure. But I think the last 3 months have been good for the two-wheeler industry. Stocks are also under control. Festival season is good, and I think the elections and the festival season all there. The demand is getting up, and both we are seeing the demand are urban. But having said that, the growth would be more in the high single digit, 8 to 9% growth. That's what is expected. And as far as commercial vehicles are concerned, it's been a steady year, but the light commercial vehicles haven't done very well last year, which I think should do better this year. The heavy commercial vehicles should continue their pace of 7 to 8%.
The kind of thrust everyone has on infrastructure, etc., perhaps we would see some pickup in commercial vehicles at some point. But gentlemen, hang in there, because the market has turned for the worse. We started with more stocks advancing than the number of stocks which were declining, and now suddenly that has flipped over. The mid-cap index, which was actually doing a lot better, has now begun to do a lot worse. The mid-cap index is down almost 200 points, and from the highs, it's about a 0.5% drop that we've seen itself. A bunch of stocks which are more notable in terms of losses that we see. Nippon Life Insurance has had opened in the green and now moved into the red. We have IGL, which continues to move lower. Godrej Properties has moved to the low point as well, and Oberoi Realty, the real estate pack, which was doing well over the last few trading sessions, seems to have come in for some bit of profit taking. The Nifty Bank, however, has ameliorated some of its losses and is now, holding on to that 47,000 mark where a lot of puts were written, Nigel.
Well, typical textbook stuff, Mangalam, is playing out here, because on the Nifty, we went down to the 20 DMA, and normally when you see the first time the Nifty goes down to the 20 DMA, that's normally defended. So that's why we went down to around 21,450 odd. That's the low of the day, and from there we have bounced close to around 50 points. And as you said, that's because the Nifty Bank has seen a bit of a recovery from the day's low. So for the time being, the Nifty has managed to defend the 20 DMA. You'll want to play out the session, with that level getting defended. But the Nifty Bank, that's the one that's underperformed, and that holds the key even for today. Beautiful chart. Yeah, that's the one that we're talking about, the 20 DMA that just got defended on the Nifty.
I just want to point out, by the way, that along with the banks that are suddenly coming back, look at the life insurers. Interesting trades going on over there. Look at SBI Life, HDFC Life. These stocks are pretty lackluster. Yesterday, we had the monthly numbers come out. But there's some buying that's quite evident right now on some of the bigger insurers. Reliance, TCS, these are the other stocks. HUL is still fighting for the bulls, not giving up just yet. And therefore, the fight continues to be around this mark of 21,500.
The one that actually hit a boundary in the last over was HDFC Bank. That's the one that took the Nifty Bank higher, and HDFC Bank is currently now moved into the green after opening in the red and currently trading at the higher end of today's trading range so far. But let's go back to our discussion with Mr. Gulati and Mr. Malhotra. Mr. Malhotra did point out some of the forecasts for this year across the board. Mr. Gulati, what are your thoughts? As we go into 2024, there are elections, there is commodity prices cooling off, so maybe price stability in the auto space, and also hopes of some recovery in rural with a lot of thrust in infra. Put all these things together, what are your thoughts in the way all these categories will grow? Two-wheelers, passenger vehicles, and heavy and light commercial vehicles?
So starting from two-wheeler has now shown a very good comeback after regularly seeing for the 2-3 months a double-digit growth. I hope two-wheeler will continue to grow. Rural has started supporting. No doubt it's not back. The Bharat is not as Bharat was before, which was supporting the auto retail, but it has come back, and slowly the entry-level market is growing. Not to the original level though, but the positiveness is there. So obviously, short-term or long-term for this calendar year, two-wheeler will be growing at a double-digit growth. One, because of the base a bit low. Second, all the OEMs coming up with electric vehicle products coming in and new products being launched. Passenger vehicle, no doubt we say that inventory is bad, but still the market is ripe. There are a lot of new products being launched in the coming time. The hype will be there in the market, and it will help us in improving, like Arunji said, on a higher single-digit growth, and that is a good thing for car market to happen. Commercial vehicle will be stable, growing a bit, and like you said, everything is on infra, and we are confident that infra push is going on. So CV is also on a positive side. Three-wheeler is one segment where electrification has been in the major trend, and that is what we are looking at. It will see a normal growth, but not a very big growth where you can bounce on. But overall, auto industry for even this calendar year or the coming quarter is on a positive side, and we'll see double-digit growth in the total auto industry, and specifically in two-wheeler, a very, very good year coming this year.
Okay, all right, gentlemen. On that optimistic note, we will wrap up this discussion outlook for the sector in 2024. Thank you very much for joining in, and wish you a good year as well.